Now to the fall of Afghanistan, with the Taliban taking back control nearly 2 decades after 9/11. Thousands of Afghans rushing to the tarmac, clinging to U.S. military planes, desperate to get out of the country. ABC's Ian Pannell is on the ground there in Kabul with the very latest. Good afternoon, Ian.
Yeah, hey there, Amy. Welcome to the new Afghanistan, one that is rife with desperation, with fear, with just this real sense of doubt staring into the unknown about what the future is going to bring. The Taliban keep issuing these proclamations. They've issued a general amnesty. They're saying they want women to be part of the new Afghanistan, that they shouldn't be in fear at home. But I have to tell you, when we went out on the streets just a few hours ago, driving around for about 15, 20 minutes, it was noticeable there wasn't one woman out on the streets. Now, interestingly, this morning we have seen a protest. It was only a small protest by women, by the presidential palace, holding up placards and shouting at the Taliban, "We want our rights. We want the rights that we fought for and that we gained under the previous government." So we have to wait and see whether the Taliban are true to their word. The other story, of course, is the chaos, the desperation that we've seen at the airport. I mean, just for a moment, imagine how desperate you would have to be to try and cling onto a C-17 cargo plane that's about to take off because you're so scared about what might happen if you stay behind. Now, the airport had to close because of the thousands of people. There were 15,000 people out on the runway. The runway was cleared. The planes are now landing and taking off again. I'm hearing from Afghan friends that they're now getting onto some of those flights and getting out of there. The priority, first of all, is American citizens. There are thousands of them still in the country. And then some of those Afghans who bravely risked their lives by helping as translators and fixers and organizers alongside the US-led mission here. Now, the trouble is a lot of them are trapped at home, scared to come out because they're scared of reprisals from the Taliban, in fear for their lives. We've had some heart-wrenching messages from people saying, if I go out, I'm going to be slaughtered. These are people who are eligible for the special immigrant visa program that President Biden set up to get to the airport. So there's doubt, there's fear, there's desperation, but there's also hope that perhaps the future is not going to be as bad as people fear. But it's still early days and we just don't know yet. Amy?
All right, Ian Pannell there on the ground, certainly heartbreaking and frightening. We heard from a defiant President Biden who addressed the American people, stating, "I stand squarely behind my decision." Let's bring in a member of the U.S. Afghan Women's Council and the former Chief of Staff to First Lady Laura Bush, Anita McBride. Anita, thank you so much for being with us. And you're, of course, no stranger to working with the White House and, of course, your ties to Afghanistan. You have a really unique perspective. What was your reaction to President Biden's speech yesterday?
Well, I was disappointed in his defiance, but I am surprised that such an experienced person in government that knows all the levers and tools of our government and how they can be unleashed, and experienced people around him could allow this chaos to happen without sufficient planning. The Congress gave him the money and the tools, appropriated over $1 billion just on July 30th for the special immigrant visas, for what we needed to evacuate Americans and Afghans who worked with us. So why the precipitous departure so quickly without being able to implement that? That's and what your correspondent just said, Ian Pannell just said about women standing with placards outside the presidential palace in defiance. They have tasted freedom and an opportunity to be educated and to work and to support their families. They were the future of Afghanistan. And once again, they are going to be on the chopping block, literally. And they're defiant too.
Anita, we all can hear your passion. This is deeply personal for you. I know you visited Afghanistan 4 times. You worked with these women. You spoke with these women. Talk about what their future does look like. I know everyone's fearful, but what are your thoughts on where we go from here, where they go from here?
Well, I think you're seeing a little bit of sign of this is a different, generation of Afghan women. And there are some who really intend to stay and fight and keep their schools going. There are others who have been able to get out, but they've been separated from their families and they're frantic. And And there are a lot of groups, not only U.S. Afghan Women's Council, but other human rights groups, humanitarian groups, who are trying to put pressure, of course, on the State Department and DOD to keep some of these women who have been very activist on the list to be evacuated. We don't know exactly what the future is going to be for them. We're hearing different rhetoric come out of the Taliban, but we have nothing to base that on fact. And so we're worried for them. They're worried for themselves. But I am really struck by the continued resilience of Afghan women.
Yeah, it's chilling. It's chilling to see those images.
It is chilling.
And to know what we don't know. It's still so uncertain. But we really appreciate you being with us. You have so much insight and so much experience. Former Chief of Staff to First Lady Laura Bush, Anita McBride, thank you so much for your time. We hope to check in with you in a bit.
Thank you.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.